Recording.
New on the Nintendo console, the new game.
Recording.
It's out of the Wii.
It's a week later.
It's a week later.
It's the next week. We have not talked in a whole week.
Lies.
Hello.
Hello, episode 3.
Episode 4, you silly boy.
Hello, episode 3.
Did you not listen to what I just said? You silly girl.
We haven't seen each other in so long.
Episode 3.
It's been like months of lockdown.
Shall we talk about what we're actually here to talk about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Top 5 Guardian.
Well, we started talking about that because how much of this whole quarantine, COVID, lockdown, social distance, mega pandemic death is
that's what it's
affecting
officially called.
All of our lives,
Yeah.
day to day. So everyone is now having to think about ways to cope, which is not something anyone had to think about before.
Yeah.
Usually, usually it was only reserved for people who had problems generally in their life.
Yeah.
They were like, how do I cope with my problems? Whereas everyone is now coping with the same problem.
I, for one, am loving lockdown. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a nice chance to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
If you can excuse all the millions of people dying, and take it at face value, it's a good excuse to stop and.
Yeah, you're obviously, by all means, you're not saying like this is a good thing, but you're making the best of it.
For the people that aren't suffering, either like primarily or secondarily, I think it's a good thing, and I think it's a good shake-up for our society to like look at the way we live and be like, we're doing some things wrong, because the amount of people that I know that just aren't happy with their day-to-day jobs, but they kind of put that aside because the norm all over the world is just to not be happy with your job unless you're like a celebrity. And I think it's it's given everyone a chance to like stop and think like, what am I doing? Why am I living like this?
What about you, Nana? What have you been thinking about?
I mean, it's just putting everything into a halt, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just really makes you think about things. It's made me think about things that I'm like, oh, I'll get round to doing it, and then I've never done it, and it's just stuff that you just really you forget how much you get involved with like your work and the stuff you do, and you just
I feel like I've always thought in my head like, if obviously this is very far-fetched, but if we had a zombie apocalypse, what would the genuine protocol from like the government be? What would they put in place? What would they do? And I wonder, I know there's a few people and I think a few countries that actually have stuff in place for if something like that happens. And I just wonder, I wonder what they would have in place and what they would do. And this has made me realise that they have no clue what they're doing when it comes to anything like this. Obviously, this is not a zombie apocalypse. It's nothing like that. But
it is similar in the fact that it would be like person to person, and you'd need to stay indoors and not see anyone. And
I think it'd be very I think like it's not even that bad. Like what we're being asked to do is not that bad.
Super easy.
It's like it could be much worse. Like you guys might. Like, if it was a war, you guys would probably have to go out.
You too, mate. It's not...
It's
2020 now.
As well.
Exactly, mate. You're before us.
Yeah.
Apparently, no, I got told this.
No!
Me and
I don't want to.
Me and Nick, my roommate, were talking about this yesterday. Apparently, I'm not sure if this is true. He said this was true, and he said he wasn't sure, but he thinks it is. Apparently, the letter on your national insurance number is the letter in the wave in which you would be drafted to the army if there was a world war.
Wow.
Oh my.
Do you guys know?
I know what mine is.
What's yours?
I'm A, so I'm first.
Oh, I'm C.
I'm P.
No, your last one.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you meant the first letter. I was like, I
Mine
thought
is
they were
No,
all the same.
no. There's A,
Shut
B, C, and D.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
I don't know if that's true.
I thought
but-
they were all the same, and I was like, that surprises me that they're not.
No, mine's A.
Right, A, B, C. Okay, I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
Mine's A. I'm first. Great.
I'm C. So I'll be after you guys. You guys will be dead by the time I get there.
I got so excited then because
There
I
you
thought
go.
because I
No,
thought
no.
I was like P. I was like, oh,
No, we all start with P. I'm pretty
Like
sure.
the government
Yeah, no, they
comes
all
to you
start
and
with
goes,
P.
"What's the last letter?" You go P. No, that's not right.
No.
That's not right.
Just
Are you
make
sure?
make up a letter.
Oh my
Quox!
god, I did not know that.
Blow gun.
Stupid
Oh,
blow
you are.
guns.
But yeah, it's like we're not being asked to do much. Stay inside. Like we said in our previous videos, like,
Stay alert.
you know,
Control the virus.
stay alert. Yeah, jeez, even though it's invisible. Like with our TV, like we're being asked to watch TV and enjoy it, and
We're just being asked to do nothing, and
Do
people have
nothing.
nothing but complaints.
I think it's been
About
so
that.
good for so many people. It's been really good for me, personally. Oh, is Jake not quiet?
I'm reading.
Oh.
If it's actually true, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, but yeah,
Um,
like I said, like it's not like there's a war or like there's a big apocalypse, like,
Just a little apocalypse.
and we have to just a little one. But like no one's being attacked, like physically. No one's being.
Yeah.
I find it funny, right, that crime in the UK has gone down by a third, and I find it so funny that there's criminals at home that are like abiding by the lockdown rules. Like
Yeah.
they're like, do you want to rab a bonk? Do you want to
Hey man, do you want to grab a bonk?
go away?
Do I know you?
Oh, that was such a like. Oh.
Can this episode be called Rabbing a Bonk?
Yes. That's.
Do you want to rab a bonk today? Nah, I gotta.
Sorry,
abide
man. I'm in
by
lockdown.
by the lockdown rules, by the lockdown rules. Anna, you start first because
You started last
you are last on the national insurance letter out of us three.
time. Okay.
See?
Yes.
Okay.
See how that works? I could have worded that less confusingly.
Yeah. Okay.
But never mind.
But never mind, let's go rab a bonk.
And let me eat Doritos stacks really close to the mic while you're talking. No, I'm not going to do that. Don't worry.
Okay.
Crunch.
So my number 5 for coping with lockdown is I like routine. So it's kind of coming up with I've kind of enjoyed our finding a routine and getting used to something. Like for example, with our friendship group, we have Saturday night quizzes every Saturday now, and I really enjoyed those times. And we also have quiz nights as well as film nights, and like when we go shopping and things. It's just kind of, yeah, for me, refiguring out my routine for lockdown has helped me cope a bit, and just kind of finding the new normal for now.
It's nice being able to organise stuff with friends, and like, because we have quite a close knit friendship group of 6, right?
Yeah.
And we all have different work schedules, so it's impossible to
hard
try
to
and
get
organise it.
with
we,
all of
we
us,
like
yeah.
meet up at least like once a month, but it's difficult. And this has made it so much easier because everyone is free at the same time.
Yeah, and just
It's so nice.
yeah, it's been lovely, and just
And again, we're not ill. We have been furloughed. We haven't lost our
Yeah,
jobs. or
yeah.
anything. We're very lucky, but it's been very, very, very surprisingly better
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the amount of time that we've seen each other.
Surprisingly positive for a lot of stuff in our
Yeah.
personal lives.
Definitely.
yeah.
Despite what's going on outside
And just-
the doors.
yeah, just like so just having that routine of meeting up with, well, particularly our friendship group, but also with some other friends and stuff. Yeah, it's just been nice to just have those like Zoom or Skype or Google Hangout calls, and I've quite enjoyed that.
Yeah. Similarly, one of mine is using technology to connect. I read something somewhere that was like social distancing doesn't mean emotional distancing. Use technology to connect with people in the same way that you would try and connect with them physically. So yeah, like you said, just speaking to people on computers. And
I also have quizzes / Skype on mine, so like, you know, the same idea.
I think we're so lucky to have the technology that we have now.
I feel like it's
able to speak to whoever, whenever.
It's brought out a dimension in our friendship group that we never had before, which is like, oh, let's do this thing every week and then chat to each other and play games afterwards. Like, you know, we're having fun, and
it seems very adult.
Yeah. It's just like it's just the side of our friendship that I've never seen before, and it's really good.
So is that for all of us?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, I have mine down as an honourable mention. So
yeah, I just had emotional technological connectivity. Shall I just say another one?
Yeah, go for it.
Watching your favourite films and TV shows. Just links to the last one.
Yeah.
It's just the pastime that everyone does, and the pastime that always makes you feel better. Whether it's comfort films or, you know, binging a comedy show or something like that. It's just watching the things you like the most always makes you feel better.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if it's something familiar.
Yeah.
And we have the time to do it now. As we mentioned in the last episode, we have all the time to be able to indulge ourselves in our favourite stuff if we want to, if we're feeling sad.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
I've also got TV and film as a potential honourable mention. Yeah, I mean, just like echoing what Jake said, I have this app called TV Time, which is like
sponsor?
Sponsor?
Please?
No,
Jake's looking for the camera.
We're not even filming it.
No, we cocked up with the last one.
Jake, for the last time.
Stay tuned.
This is my fault.
Audio.
I have this app called TV Time, and on TV Time it's like a social app where you add your favourite TV shows and rate them, and then, you know, people make like memes and comment and share with each other things they like. There's an episode of Community where Abed talks about he does this bit with Jeff, and he talks about an episode of Cougar Town that he was on in the background, and through looking through the comments of that episode, someone shared an image from Cougar Town, and it was like, just to let you know, Cougar Town actually did this. Like, this was actually something that happened. So it's like a cool app to sort of, you know, talk to people that have the same interests and like the same TV shows. And I'm just looking through it at the moment, seeing like all the stuff that we've watched since, and we've watched loads and loads of stuff, and I think we've both found some TV shows and films and stuff that we like. We've got films like that we want to watch.
Yeah.
Anna's never seen E.T. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Like, we've got stuff that we need
my god.
we need to watch. Which
Save
is
that for
like
the YouTube channel.
As people that like film and television, I feel like they're things that we definitely should have already seen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
I was just gonna say I watched a Vlogbrothers video, I think, about how kind of technology has made Tetris players connect more and get better at the game. This made me kind of think about the fact that you could see more into Community because of the fact that people are looking into it more because they're locked down, and there's like, you're getting more out of the things that you like because you have the time to look more into them.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that was kind of an honourable mention of mine as well, so I thought I'd piggyback on that. But, yeah.
Lovely.
My actual one is cooking and baking.
Yes.
We've done so much more. Cooking and baking is something that I really enjoy doing, but don't do it that often because I mean, firstly, I still live with my parents at the moment, and my mum does a lot of the cooking, and I think a lot of the time we have like ready-made meals, not necessarily like microwave meals, but, you know, like a pasta bake that will go in the oven, whereas now that we have time to actually cook and prep, and we're in charge of the shopping at the moment, it's been nice to actually experiment with some like different stuff. Like I don't think it was in the last episode actually, but we made ice cream, homemade ice cream, which is super easy. And I've made ice cream before with an ice cream churner, but it's slightly different than making homemade ice cream.
Was it even nicer because you knew you made it?
It's kind of different. Like it tastes.
I don't find that with me personally. But
You're like, I made this, so it sucks.
so it's disgusting. I do like. I feel like that was sandwiches.
I
Don't know
feel
about
like
you guys.
I'm not a big sandwich fan. It depends. Maybe we could do top 5 sandwiches.
I don't know. I'm a big fanwich.
I love sandwiches, but I'm quite picky about.
But Jake,
them.
do you prefer people like someone making a sandwich for you, or do you prefer making your own?
I haven't really thought about it that much.
Oh.
I guess I prefer other people making my sandwiches because I'm not then exposed to the things that's in the sandwich.
Yeah, I can't stand me making my own sandwich.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I love when I make a good sandwich and I take a bite, I'm like, fuck, I made this sandwich and it tastes so good.
I never have that feeling.
No?
See,
You're not putting the right things in your sandwiches then?
No.
For
I'm
me,
not a fan of sandwiches anyway.
For me, I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, I will eat it. I'm not. I don't dislike it enough to not eat it, but I'm not the biggest fan of like white sliced bread like that we get in the UK, unless it's like fresh from the bakery, or like a roll or something. I feel like the stuff we have, I don't know. I think it takes me back to memories of like Sainsbury's chocolate spread sandwiches in school and being like, this is gross.
Britain has bland breads. Oh, that's hard to say. Oh my god.
Britain has bland
Britain has bland breads.
Britain has bland breads. Britain has bland breads. Britain
There you go.
has bland breads. It's difficult.
Britain.
We've made a new tongue twister.
Yeah.
Trademark. Sell it.
Woo!
Yeah.
What were we talking about before sandwiches?
Cooking.
I hope none of this makes it in. We need to save it for a future episode.
That's my favourite quote. What were we talking about before sandwiches?
What about
Yeah,
again?
I'm not the biggest fan of the bread, so it depends. I'm trying to think what else we made though. We made
Cinnamon buns.
cinnamon buns, Tesco's own, which
Nice.
we could have made better ones.
Oh,
I think
they
weren't great.
Were they like the ones you chop up and put in the
No,
oven?
they were make from scratch. She made the dough, but you've made cinnamon buns before, right?
Yeah.
So you know how you roll out the dough and then you put the cinnamon sugar and the like, sometimes if it comes with sauce to go in the middle, you put that on and then you roll it up.
Yes.
It made you roll it up and then put the sugar over the top
It was not good.
and like mix it in with the icing, and it was I was
But then there's
making it,
nothing in the middle. That's
No.
like a muffin with nothing in the middle.
as I was making it I was like, this is wrong, but it's what the box said. I checked it like 3 times to make sure, because I was like, this is not how you make cinnamon buns. And yeah, it was nice. They were nice. We ate them, but
then you don't get the spiral of cinnamon,
Yeah,
which is
it was-
about the roll.
it
That's
was
the whole
kind
point
of
of
like
the roll.
it was like a cinnamon bun, like, but bun in the sense of like a bread bun rather than like, a cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
So,
it was
yeah.
very dry, wasn't it?
We made brownies. They were, I mean,
Brownies were
brownies are
good.
just kind of a
Cream egg brownies.
Oh,
brownies are just kind of a like standard, aren't they? Though. But then you
Can't go
made a really nice pasta bake one night.
I did.
And I made gnocchi, which I love gnocchi, but I've never actually made gnocchi before. It was like with smoked ciabatta and cinnamon and spinach, cinnamon on the mind.
We made
And I think
cupcakes.
that was good. We did make cupcakes. We made 2 batches of cupcakes, one from Tesco's and one from our own ingredients, and our ones were better.
Yeah.
nice.
So suck it, Tesco.
They always are.
Yeah.
And I made the biscuits with icing.
Oh yeah, and it reminded me of a old childhood like treat. But yeah, it's just been nice to quesadillas as well. That's what I made.
Oh yeah, you made quesadillas.
I made some quesadillas, which I've never made before.
They were
but
good.
Same again. I love quesadillas, and they're pretty easy.
It's like you feel productive and you feel
Yeah.
like you're accomplishing something, and
And we've had a couple of grilled cheese sandwiches, which
Yeah,
are,
we've made
I
some
mean, you don't really
toasties.
make them, but grilled sandwiches are the best. Grilled PB&J, yes please. So yeah, that's something that I've enjoyed, that I've had more time to do something I like but haven't don't really usually do much of. So that's been fun.
Have you done any cooking, Jim? Well, apart from
yeah,
the
I
usual.
think more baking than usual. I bake a bit, but not that much. Made a chocolate cake,
Ooh.
crumble, just a bunch of stuff. That I just
Love my
didn't really. I don't have time to make. I can't be bothered to get home from work at like 7:30 and make a crumble. You know what I mean? But baking, very good, very productive, and you're like making things from scratch.
It's very wholesome, isn't it? It's
like making something from a random array of completely different things is
especially
really cool.
Especially to then give to someone else. Like I made gnocchi, and you made your lasagna bake for like the whole family. And also like off the back of that, you did fajitas as well. Also off the back of it is that Anna's family are, I think they like you said, they like to stick to routines, so they have food that they know they like, and it's kind of like a cycle of food that they go through, whereas they never had gnocchi and they never had fajitas, and that was something that was like we introduced them to and they enjoyed it, and that there's something nice about introducing people to something new.
Yeah.
Cool.
You probably wouldn't have done that without this lockdown.
Exactly.
Yours one actually goes quite well into my next one.
Take it away,
How
Foxy
convenient.
Don't call me that.
Sorry, Badger Papa.
That's better, I guess.
Foxy Mama and Badger Papa.
So I've written down doing stuff that I've been meaning to do for yonkers.
I've started using the word yonks quite often now.
I have noticed that.
Yonkers.
I'll be honest.
I don't know why. I don't know
must
where
be
it came from.
Is it a Mark or Leslie thing?
Maybe. I'm
maybe.
going to try and stop using it because it's fun to say every now and then, but
If it becomes your thing, it's just not a good thing.
yeah.
Cool. But let me expand on that. So, for example, I've done a lot of reading, which I love reading stories, fictional stories. So I've been able to do that a lot more. Got back into drawing, which I've used to love doing all the time. Like especially when I was at school, I used to draw a lot. And then
you're giving to all of us a wonderful gift and drawings, and they were lovely.
Thanks. Yeah, drew pictures of like our friendship group, and I sent them all in the post to everyone as a little gift.
One drawing that you did is our thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our logo.
Yeah,
it's on our.
It was just updated in Photoshop.
And like being able to rearrange my room, I managed to do that, and like focus on my acting stuff as well. Like I've just recently managed to get an agent, so being able to like focus on that and not prioritize my job that I'm doing currently. I can actually focus on doing monologues, learning monologues, getting the right record like video self tapes down, and just kind of focusing on that, which I've never been able to properly do before. So that's been really good, just having that chance. So yeah, it's just stuff that I'm always like, I'll do that one day, and then never have. Like I'm like, I should always get back into drawing. I really want to read that book, or I just like, I need to start my room. Never done it. So yeah, it's just been really like nice to just finally do things after so many years of being like, I need to do it.
Yeah.
This is what I was like trying to elaborate on as well, in what I was saying in the last thing, is that people, I guess, as well as people not having motivation because they've been drained from work, is also not having the time to do things, which is what I think Jake will probably agree with this as well, because I think we had a conversation about this, is that we have we have a fairly long commute to work each, and that time, as much as it's a pain in the arse to do sometimes, that time gives you additional sort of space to do what you want to do, like to listen to podcasts or to read or something. Not so much for me because I have to drive and I might crash, but like like audio.
I've got a book on the go. I'm eating a meal. I'm doing everything.
I'm drawing.
I also feel like when I get
doing
home,
yoga,
drinking. I feel like, I mean, drinking alcohol, of course.
yeah, I guess following on from your thing, I don't know if it's one of your things as well, Anna, but I know we've talked about it. It's doing. Is
I
it
know
doing
exactly.
yoga?
Yes.
It's doing
that was
yoga.
my top one. Yeah.
I've included meditation as well in this because I think it's the same thing, and it's going to be
The umbrella,
one of them.
isn't it?
One of them segments where a guy talks about yoga and meditation for 10 minutes. Strap yourselves in. Yeah, I think keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
3, 2, 1.
It's a really calming ride. It's just
Namaste.
a really calming log flume.
Welcome, children.
Put your hands up if you want to go slower. Yeah, I've been doing yoga and meditation for a while anyway. Maybe like 2 years, I think. But now, because I always used to do it either, as you said, Tom, on my journey to work, not yoga, obviously.
On the train.
That would be hilarious.
Excuse me, sir. Can you get out of the aisle?
Hey, I'm doing my down dog. Shut up. My ticket's in my back pocket.
Relax.
Yeah, you
your
just
body
meditate on the
and
train,
mind.
so you kind of get a bit there. I try and do yoga in the morning when I woke up, but it was always a struggle to do yoga at like 6 in the morning. But then I always did it in the evening. But now it's kind of the whole point of yoga and meditation is to remain in the present and to
remain.
is to just be able to identify your thoughts and to be able to not get caught up in those sorts of spirals. And then now we're in a time where we're stuck inside, not being distracted. Well, we all are trying to distract ourselves from the horrible things that are happening outside, and from our own thoughts at the same time. So they're really helpful things to do. And now it plays nicely into the fact that major like news networks and social media outlets and influencers are also talking about the benefits of doing these sorts of things all the time.
Yoga's helped me so much, like since lockdown especially, and just again, like, it's going back to that routine thing. Like I wake up like almost every morning now and do yoga every morning, and I feel so crap beforehand, but once I've finished a session, whether that's 10 minutes or 30 minutes, it's great. I have to do that.
Yeah,
midnight
it's something I do want to take up, but I need to find the time, because like you said, we've all got the time, but I think it's just finding the appropriate place.
That's it. Like I managed to get into it with my roommate, who's also really interested in doing it, and we kind of already we were living together, so we didn't really have any sort of awkwardness of seeing it. We didn't feel like it would be awkward doing yoga together. It was still funny and like silly at times, which is kind of part of the reason why some people don't do it. Is that it is silly to do deep breaths while acting like a dog and a cow and a cat and all of that sort of stuff.
I think we were describing it as a slow version of Bring on the Wall. The hole in the wall.
Yeah.
It's like if that was in slow motion.
Genuinely is. You just have a new perspective on that. Things that you worry about in the future or in the past just really don't matter.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of meditation is the fact that you focus on here and now, and you need to recognize your thoughts as they're coming into your brain and not dwell on them.
Sure.
Or put yourself in the future or put yourself in the past. Would highly recommend. Anyone out there who's thinking about it, do it. Sarah Beth Yoga on YouTube. I follow her. Who do you follow, Anna?
Yoga with Adrienne.
And I'd like to shout out Yogi Bear.
There you go.
He's a bear who teaches
just
yoga.
cause
he like eats his studio. And I'd like to shout out Scrappy Doo.
Because he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's always trying to solve mysteries, but he's so small and a little puppy.
And Johnny English in disguise.
Oh yeah.
That's just a bunch of wrong things in a sentence.
You know, I didn't like that film purely because Scrappy Doo was the villain, and I used to love Scrappy Doo. Yeah. I love the second one.
I love the film, but that ending ruins the whole. It just
I love the film.
I can't believe they made it.
Same director as Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn. Anyway, we'll do top 5 Scooby-Doo films another day.
Anything you need to follow on? Anything?
Anna?
For me, I think, well, going back to yoga, like, also breathing. I don't know about you, but I was like, oh, wait, and I'm like, oh, I can breathe. Like, just even the smallest thing, like breathing, I just forget exists and how important it is.
Yeah.
My uncle forgot he could breathe.
It's crazy.
It's what killed him in the end.
This is why I
wanted to go there.
Conversation with you.
I wanted to go there.
What's my next one? Okay, so this is a bit more of a bit of a less like deep like one, not quite as meaningful, but I ordered loads of board games on Amazon, and we've been playing some board games. There's games I've wanted to play or buy for ages, and some that are new, and we've had a lot of fun learning how to play them and playing them. We've discovered a really good game called Villainous, which is like a Disney villains game.
So
it's like
complicated.
a strategy game.
Yeah.
Took us ages to figure out, but
it's very
it's
good.
super good fun.
What's that about?
You can play with up to 6 players, and I think they've got expansions as well, and everyone has their own board, and every individual villain has their own goal that they're trying to achieve.
Okay.
So it's a strategy game where you have to play to achieve your own goal, but you also have to be aware of everyone else's goal and try and stop them from getting there first.
Nice.
It's really complicated to learn, but if you've got someone that knows how to play it, I'd imagine it would be quite easy. But yeah, we love that, and I want to get some expansions because there's a limited number of villains, and I want Yzma, and yeah, and I think it would be it's really different. I think especially like as a friendship group, we're quite a board gamey group. We like to play games, and it's something unlike games that we've played before because it's not as silly. It's quite focused. Yeah, we got that. We got a game called Trial by Trolley, which presents you with the whole like ethical question of if there's 2 groups of people on a train track, and you have to pull the lever to go one way, which way do you go? It's that, but it's made by like a comic book, like an adult comic book writer, so the options on it are super funny. So you've got good cards and you've got bad cards, and you want to try and sabotage the other person's track. So a good card, for example, is like your grandma, and then a bad card will be like Hitler, and you want to try and make them take the other track. That's really cool, and that's a really good fun game. Joking Hazard is something that I bought to play after lockdown, but then we found it online, which is like a build your own comic strip / Cards Against Humanity type game. And we also got a game which we managed to play on Skype the other day, which is called Chameleon, which is like a game where there's a secret word, and everyone in the group knows what that word is apart from one person.
Who is the chameleon?
And everyone has to prove that they know that word, without being too vague, but also without saying specifically what it is, because then you have to try and keep it secret from the person that doesn't know. Which is really good fun. I highly recommend it. It's I think it's like £22 or something on Amazon, but anything from Big Potato Games I recommend. Me, where are you?
My next one is learning new things. So I have committed to things I've learnt so far. I've learnt to finally edit videos, which I thought I'd never be able to do, but I've managed to get Premiere Pro and actually edit videos.
You mean you managed to pay for Premiere Pro?
I said get, so that could be anything.
I mean, that sounds like you got it illegally, which...
No, it doesn't.
Managed to acquire
Right? I managed to
a
get
copy
it.
of Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
If you bought it, you would have said, "Oh, I finally bought Premiere Pro."
Okay.
I finally bought the full Adobe Creative Cloud package,
Yes.
Yeah.
which included Premiere Pro.
Correct.
Yes. So I've got Premiere Pro. How's that sound?
Fine. We'll probably keep all that in anyway.
I've
so.
got Premiere Pro.
Adobe. We could do the sponsor if you're listening.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's definitely a new skill that I've managed to learn.
What are you doing at the moment?
And at the moment, I'm learning a language.
No way. What language are you
Yeah.
learning?
So at GCSE I did Spanish for a year, and I've decided to pick that back up again. I didn't buy, it was free. I got an app on my phone called Duolingo.
Love it. Classic.
And it's
Classic Duolingo.
classic Duolingo app, and it's suitable for all ages because you type in your age and like your experience. You can choose the language you want to learn, and it does it in like loads of steps for you. You can set daily targets. You can like really accommodate to yourself and how much you or how much you want to learn in the time that you have, really. So yeah, I started Spanish again, and it's been great.
Yeah? Good.
Yeah, it's just some bits I remember, some bits I have no idea. Like I feel like as well at school, like you had to learn some sort of phrase to get you through
Yeah.
your speaking assessment and your exam. Whereas I was like, actually, if I can try and somehow be fluent in a language or be somewhat understanding of another language, that would be so cool.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Now
Jake.
for a break from our sponsor.
Do you ever get wasps in your fridge?
No.
Are
Keep
you?
going.
Oh, I didn't know if you were joining in.
And
with
we're
the advert
back.
or if you were.
Yeah.
I thought you were stopping me because I'd said something.
No, I was joining in with the advert.
Well, buy waspies from your local supermarket. Available now. That's all. This is all part of the advert still. Even this.
Yeah. It's so meta.
Even this is part of the advert.
My fourth thing, or another thing, is just to go outside.
Yeah.
Remember to go outside.
My honourable mention was.
That is part of mine, actually.
My honourable mention was going on walkies.
Yeah, I had walkies.
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 It is,
Walkies.
even in the first few weeks of the lockdown when it was said you can't go outside apart from once a day, it was hard to still kind of go outside on some days when you were just like, meh.
Yeah.
So it's just so important to go outside at least once a day and do something
Definitely.
to get some fresh air and the sun, especially because the weather is so fucking good.
Yes.
And
it's
has
lush
been
at
for
the
the
moment.
entirety of lockdown, which is so ironic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Go outside.
It is.
I We discovered some new parts of the common near where we live that we didn't know were there.
Yep.
And I've lived
Nice.
in the same town my whole life, so it's good for stuff like that. It's like, I should probably take in my surroundings a bit more and appreciate
Definitely.
the town I'm from, which I've always been like, oh, I hate this place because I've lived here my whole life, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and going on from what you're saying about taking in surroundings, I've started taking cool pictures on my phone of cool plants and flowers and trees that I found.
That leads me into my
I'm
number.
so sorry.
That leads me into my number
Oh,
4.
No, it's good. It
It's
keeps
fine,
it
it's
rolling.
fine.
It keeps
Oh,
it rolling.
no.
It's good.
Leads me into my
No, it's
number
good.
4, which is photography. I've taken. We're doing this thing. I bought myself and Anna a book for Christmas from Typo, which is like a stationery shop, and it's called A Photo a Day, and there's 366 pages with a title, a date, and a caption, and a place for a photo. So we're taking a photo every day. So I've been taking more photos than I probably would anyway, but also just because we're on lockdown and I love photography, I've been and because we've been out more, I've been taking photos of more things, and I guess it's that same thing of appreciating the beauty of what's around you. It's
Because usually,
even though you're looking through a screen, it gives you a moment to stop and go this is really nice, I should take a photo of this and look back on it.
whereas when I feel like you're at work, and then if you go on a lunch break, you just go straight to the place where you're getting lunch and go back. You don't take in any surroundings around you. Even when you're on your way to work, you don't take in what's around you. Or if you're going to somewhere, like anywhere, you just never appreciate anything. And I think this is
I also think like
been great for that.
It's gonna, when this is over, it will make me look back and remember the good times about lockdown rather than the shit virus side.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys can't see this because you're obviously, this is a podcast. Maybe we can put this up on our Instagram story or something at WITMOT podcast, and Twitter. But I was taking a photo of Lily, Anna's dog, in the water, and then this like random French bulldog just came and stood in front of the camera and like completely blocked the shot. And then also I've got photos of we played the Chameleon, the game I was on about earlier, on Skype, which meant we had to take photos of like the cards to send to people. And now I just have those in my gallery, those pictures of those cards, which, although it's kind of like seems like a wasted picture to have, I think when I look back, it will be a chance to be like, oh yeah, do you remember when we had to like send each other the cards?
That's such a good
Anna's
picture.
Getting distracted by pictures of doggies.
Tom said
phone.
he didn't take a good picture of Lily, and this is a really good picture of the dog.
No, it's just framed a bit weirdly, but yeah. Anyway, so photography was mine.
Honourable mention of mine kind of is just exploring more of the town.
Yeah,
like looking at things in a different way. Just being able to.
You're quite lucky. You live near the centre of Newbury, so
in the middle. Yeah,
so you've got access to quite a lot of places, and you can just take that all in. And
yeah, it's really, really nice. Just going around and like you said, seeing things in a way that you didn't before because you're too busy being distracted by stuff.
Was that an honourable mention, or was that?
Yeah, that was just kind of. Yeah.
Anna, have we gone through all yours? Apart from an honourable.
Yeah, apart from honourable, I was just going to say I've started running.
Oh yeah.
That's been fun. Obviously I kept myself fit anyway because I did a lot of dance, but now I'm not doing a lot of dancing. I was like, what can I? Obviously we go out for walks a lot, but I was like, I've always tried running. I'm more of a sprinter than a cross country, but I'm getting there.
Anna's also got an honourable mention that she didn't put down, which I think she should have, which is that she started collecting Frozen 2 trading cards from, like the old Panini packs you used to get.
Yes.
We all wanted to do it, all of the like quote unquote kids in the house, even though we're 23.
We're still children.
But there wasn't like an actual one that I wanted to do, but luckily for you there was Frozen 2. So it was either like football, Trolls, or Frozen and nothing else. So, so yeah, you started that, which is like a good nostalgic thing that you can still do.
I started doing this during lockdown.
Yeah. It's just good fun, but I feel like you should have put that in, so I'm just reminding you. Jake, what's your next one? Your final one?
My last one, daily baths.
Daily baths.
Daily baths. I thought that was going to be on Anna's list.
No.
But it was. I don't know. I can't believe it. I read this in Partners in Health. There was a big charity that helps people across the globe in terms of pandemics, and they helped with Ebola all over the world, and they specialise in mental health tips and stuff. And one of the tips they said for mental health was take a bath daily if possible, because it relaxes your body and it's alone time.
I love a bath.
Yeah,
it is the best thing.
I thought baths were meant to be special, and they should be maybe like once a week. They're a treat on a Sunday where I need to relax, and that's it. But doing it every single day. Daily. One of the other tips as well is to have some alone time, inside or outside. So kind of having a set time, or like just once a day, where you're relaxed, your body is relaxed.
I feel like I might have
your
a bath
mind is
soon.
Relaxed.
I haven't had a bath since lockdown started. I've had a shower.
He's really smelly.
You can see the like mist around me of smells. No, I've had a shower, but I love having showers.
Just one.
Just
one shower.
Just one. Yeah, my annual shower. I'm not a big bath person, but yeah, I feel like I haven't had a bath in a while. I fancy a bath
love baths.
now.
Baths so much.
I do like baths, but I don't like the feeling of getting out of the bath, like when you're like
no, I do know what you mean.
I feel like that's why, but I like
if you have like a fluffy dressing gown by and a towel, get straight into it and get into bed and you smell all nice.
I'm gonna have a bath though. That's a good shout.
But yeah, daily baths.
Cool.
Very important, unexpected thing that I thought I would not find.
Cool.
Cool.
Thomas?
My last one is something... honourable mentions.
I didn't do my honourable mention.
You did?
I didn't.
What was it?
I need to tell you guys.
Huh?
No, that was running, but walking and running were like in the same thing.
What's
was
your
your other
what's
thing?
your other one? Oh, go on then.
No, you do yours, and then I.
You're going to end on an honourable mention.
Well, yeah. Well. Just a quick one.
That's not how we do things in the listing community.
Do you want me to quickly do it before your last one?
Go on.
Okay. So my honourable mention, very quickly, is a YouTube channel, which is Carrie Hope Fletcher and Oliver Ormson's YouTube channel. Between them, because they both have 2 separate YouTube channels, but they're living together because they're a boyfriend and girlfriend and living together.
Because they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
And living together.
Gross. Disgusting.
They live together.
Stop it.
I bet they've kissed and touched
This
bottoms.
is meant to be quick.
Sorry.
And so Carrie does evening vlogs every day since lockdown, and Oliver does morning vlogs every day since lockdown with the both of them, and they chat about very important topics, and they talk a lot about stuff that we like. So for example, the theatre industry, they have a lot of knowledge on that, and you see that a lot in their vlogs, as well as related topics that are very useful. Yeah, that was mine.
Nice.
Go, Tom.
Sorry, I had a headphone on my nose.
For the whole time.
For the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Since the first episode. My number one is... honourable mentions. I literally forgot again. Honourable mentions. I've done some Lego and like puzzles. I kind of put those in one category. Some Stranger Things so Lego and
Legos.
Did a Disney puzzle downstairs.
Legos.
And also this kind of comes under cooking and baking, but eating. Like we just...
Yep.
I feel like you just try a lot more stuff, and I've eaten so much ice cream and so many yogurts. It's probably knocked about 4 years off my life, but it's fine. My number one is something that I think a lot of people would probably like sneer at a little bit, because it's one of those things that I think a lot of people associate it with something else. But Animal Crossing is my number one. It's just Nintendo.
Nice.
He plays it all the time.
It's a Nintendo Switch game, but I mean, it's like been on other platforms in the past. It's just like, and also it came out like the day before lockdown, so this is another like conspiracy. But it's such a relaxing game. You have your own island that you sort of like decorate and build, and invite people onto the island, and you can play with other friends and visit theirs. It's just so relaxing, and I kind of feel like I get the same benefits from that you guys get from like yoga and meditation. For example, it like clears your mind.
Genuinely.
And it's like it's obviously it's just pretty on the nose, but it's just escapism. Like,
but you're literally you're focusing on tiny tasks that don't mean anything in the in the broad aspect. There is no plot to Animal Crossing. There is no character arc you have to focus on, or any big choices you have to make.
Yeah.
You just tend to your trees. You go and buy some peaches. You go and plant some more trees.
Exactly.
And you go and visit some friends, and you push them around, and you play your tambourine, and you have fun.
I
and
feel
you
like
focus on what's nice now rather than...
Exactly. And I feel like it focuses on things that are important, especially at the moment, which is like community and like...
Not the show, sorry.
No. And like preservation of like nature and taking in your surroundings and stuff. So yeah, it's such a... I've used this word, I think it's the third time I've used this word, but it's such a wholesome game. And it's
Special
just
word
like...
for...
It is for this episode.
Wholesome.
But it's just so relaxing, and it's the perfect game to play right now. Yeah.
It's interesting that a lot of our chosen things on how to cope with lockdown is relaxing.
Yeah. But this is the thing. This is what people want to do.
That is the key.
It's just what people want to do in their day-to-day lives, but
Can't.
because you've always got something else focused. Like, oh, I've got this big meeting at work tomorrow. It's just like, you don't have to worry about that. You've got, all you've got to worry about is washing your hands and making dinner and chatting to people that you like. Very interesting.
Interessante.
Very interesting, everybody.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
We're done.
No more. No more.
Follow
I
us.
quit.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WITMOT Podcast. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.
What are you looking for?
That was good.
My lips still.
Her lips need to be nice and... I'm just going to stop.